Welcome to our channel HD Rare Coin 111, your go-to spot for uncovering the incredible world of rare US coins. If you've ever wondered if your old pennies, nickels, or dimes are worth more than face value, you're about to find out. In today's video, we'll be exploring some truly rare coins and their shocking values. And if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. So let's jump in. Top 1. The United States has a rich history of coinage, with some coins holding exceptional value due to their rarity, historical significance, or unique errors. Among these, the 1970 Lincoln 1-cent penny stands out as one of the most intriguing and highly sought-after coins. While most pennies from the 1970s may seem ordinary, there's a particular variety of this coin that has become a prized possession for collectors and investors alike. In 1970, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies, as they did every year. However, a small number of these coins have been found to possess unique characteristics that set them apart from the rest. These rare pennies have attracted attention due to their unusual features, and those who are fortunate enough to come across them could be sitting on a small fortune. The 1970 penny you're looking for has an important distinction. It wasn't just a typical issue. The coin in question was struck with a certain flaw or error that makes it significantly more valuable than the standard 1970 pennies. This rare variety often features a doubled die or other minting error, which results in an image on the coin that looks doubled or unusually out of alignment. These errors occurred during the production process, making these pennies incredibly rare, and their value has increased substantially over time as more collectors have learned about them. What makes these pennies so appealing is not just their error, but the historical significance behind them. The Lincoln penny has been in circulation since 1909, making it one of the most iconic coins in American history. The coin's design, featuring the famous portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, has remained virtually unchanged for over a century. However, despite its long history and widespread circulation, finding one of these 1970 pennies with a minting error is a rare event, and finding one in excellent condition can make it even more valuable. If you happen to have one of these rare 1970 Lincoln pennies, or if you come across one, it's important to get it evaluated by a professional numismatist. The value of these coins can vary depending on the severity of the error, the condition of the coin, and other factors, but certain specimens have sold for astonishing amounts. In fact, some 1970 Lincoln pennies have been known to fetch up to $95,000 when sold at auction, making it one of the most valuable pennies ever discovered. While not every 1970 penny is worth this kind of money, the chance of finding one with an error that could make it worth a substantial sum is what excites collectors and coin enthusiasts. The 1970 penny has become a symbol of how a seemingly simple coin can hold immense value due to its rarity, historical significance, and unique characteristics. So, what should you do if you think you might have one of these valuable coins? First, it's important to thoroughly examine the coin. Look for signs of doubling, misalignment, or other anomalies. If you're unsure whether your penny has an error, consider having it graded by a reputable coin grading service. Experts in the field can evaluate the coin's authenticity and condition, helping you determine whether it's one of the rare pennies that could be worth a small fortune. Remember, when dealing with rare and valuable coins, it's always a good idea to do your research and consult with professionals. The world of numismatics can be both fascinating and rewarding, but it's also filled with experts who can help guide you through the process of identifying, valuing, and selling your rare finds. The 1970 Lincoln 1-cent penny may just be a small part of America's vast coinage history, but for those who happen to discover one of the rarer varieties, it can be a life-changing find. It serves as a reminder that even the most humble of coins can hold great value, and that's why coin collectors and enthusiasts continue to search for these elusive treasures year after year. So, the next time you go through your change jar or check your pocket change, keep an eye out for that 1970 Lincoln penny. It might just be the one that brings you an astonishing amount of money, potentially even $95,000 in words. Top 2. The United States of America has a rich history of currency, with coins that are not only a symbol of the country's economy but also an essential part of its cultural heritage. Among the many famous coins in American history, The Lincoln 1-cent penny from 1971 stands out as a rare and valuable piece that has captured the attention of collectors and numismatists around the world. In this video, we will delve deep into the story behind the 1971 Lincoln 1-cent penny, uncover its value, and explain why some of these pennies are worth a staggering amount of money today. Let's start with a bit of background. The Lincoln penny, first introduced in 1909, was designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner to honor Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. It's hard to imagine that a simple copper coin with a portrait of Lincoln on one side and the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the other would become such a coveted item in the world of numismatics. Over the decades, the penny underwent various design changes, but the most significant one came in 1959 when the reverse side was redesigned to feature the Lincoln Memorial. The 1971 penny marks an interesting period in the history of American currency. While it may seem like just another run-of-the-mill penny produced in large quantities, there are specific 1971 pennies that are highly sought after due to their rarity and unique characteristics. It's important to note that not all 1971 Lincoln pennies are worth a significant amount of money, but certain variations and errors in the minting process have made some of them highly valuable. So, what makes the 1971 Lincoln penny worth so much? One key factor is the presence of certain rare errors. For example, there have been reports of 1971 pennies with double dies, where the image of Abraham Lincoln or the date appears more than once due to a mistake during the coin's minting process. These coins are highly prized by collectors because of their distinct and noticeable flaws, making them much more valuable than regular pennies. Coins with double dies are considered a valuable rarity in the world of coin collecting, and they can sell for a significant premium. Another reason why the 1971 Lincoln penny stands out is its metal composition. During this time, the U.S. Mint was transitioning from using 95% copper and 5% zinc to a new formula that would become the standard for modern pennies, a copper-plated zinc composition. The transition was a result of rising copper prices, and the change in the penny's material meant that many of the coins struck during this period were subject to slight variations in weight and appearance. While most of the pennies from 1971 are made from this new copper-plated zinc formula, the pennies that were struck in error with the old copper mix have become a rare find. Now, you might be wondering, how can you tell if you've found a valuable 1971 penny? First and foremost, you should closely examine the coin for any signs of minting errors. A double die error is one of the most common and highly valuable mistakes you can look for. If the date or image of Lincoln appears slightly off-center, doubled, or faint, it's worth checking with a professional coin dealer or numismatist for an official appraisal. In addition to errors, the overall condition of the coin also plays a huge role in its value. Coins that have been well preserved and show minimal wear are far more valuable than those that are heavily circulated or damaged. A penny that has been kept in pristine condition, with sharp details and no noticeable scratches or blemishes, will always command a higher price. For those interested in collecting or selling valuable coins, there are numerous ways to evaluate their worth. Online coin marketplaces, auction sites, and specialized coin dealers are all great resources to get an idea of what your penny might be worth. If you happen to stumble upon a 1971 penny with a double die error or one in mint condition, you could be holding a coin worth thousands of dollars. But the most astonishing thing is that one of these pennies can be worth a mind-blowing amount. The value of these rare 1971 pennies has been known to reach an impressive amount. In some cases, certain specimens with major errors and in exceptional condition have been known to sell for prices as high as $90,000. Yes, you heard that right, $90,000. This incredible value makes the 1971 Lincoln 1-cent penny not just a piece of American history, but also a remarkable investment for collectors who have an eye for rare and valuable coins. So, if you ever come across a 1971 penny, take a moment to check it closely. You might just have a small fortune in your hands. Happy collecting! Top 3. The United States has always had a rich tradition of minting coins, with each coin telling a unique story about the country's history, its economy, and the people who shaped its future. Among all the coins in circulation, the Lincoln 1-cent penny has held a special place in the hearts of collectors for over a century. Today, we're going to explore one specific penny from 1974 that's not just a piece of history but a treasure in its own right. The 1974 Lincoln 1-cent penny has more to it than meets the eye. Let's start with a little history. The Lincoln penny, first introduced in 1909, was designed by the artist Victor David Brenner to honor Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Over the years, the Lincoln penny has seen many changes, but the most iconic version, which we all recognize today, was introduced in 1959. It features the image of the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side. Fast forward to 1974, and the design of the penny had remained largely the same for decades, but certain characteristics and even small variations in the minting process have made the 1974 penny stand out as a particularly rare and valuable piece of American coinage. The 1974 Lincoln penny may seem like just another penny to the casual observer. After all, it's a common coin in the history of American currency. But when we dig deeper, we find that there are some very specific details that can make this coin incredibly valuable. Many factors can contribute to a coin's worth, and the 1974 penny is no exception. While most of the 1974 pennies produced by the U.S. Mint are of average value, there are specific variations, errors, and qualities that make certain examples worth an enormous amount of money. One of the primary reasons the 1974 penny has garnered attention is due to a rare minting error that occurred during production. The 1974 penny was struck with several interesting errors, one of the most famous being the double die error. Double die errors occur when the coin's design is imprinted onto the coin more than once, creating a distinct doubling of the letters, numbers, or images. In the case of the 1974 penny, some coins were struck with a noticeable doubling of the date, creating a clear and highly desirable error coin. Collectors have long prized these mistakes, as they are far more valuable than regular pennies and can fetch a significant price on the market. Another key factor in determining the value of a 1974 penny is its overall condition. Like with most coins, the more well-preserved a coin is, the higher its value tends to be. A 1974 penny that has been kept in excellent condition with no signs of wear, scratches, or discoloration will be worth far more than a heavily circulated one. Many of the valuable 1974 pennies are in what's called mint state, meaning they've been preserved in perfect or near perfect condition, allowing collectors to pay a premium for them. It's also important to note that the composition of the penny played a role in its worth. In 1974, the penny was made primarily of copper, but the U.S. Mint had already started experimenting with different materials in response to rising metal costs. Some of the 1974 pennies were struck with slightly different metal compositions, leading to subtle variations in their weight and appearance. While these differences may seem minor, they add to the rarity of specific coins, particularly those with an unusual blend of copper and zinc. When we talk about the value of the 1974 penny, we can't forget to mention how rarity plays a crucial role. As we've already discussed, the 1974 penny that has an error or is in near mint condition can be worth much more than its face value, but some specific examples have been known to sell for jaw-dropping amounts. There have been reports of collectors finding 1974 pennies with double die errors that sold for thousands of dollars. And as time goes on and these rare pennies become harder to find, their value increases exponentially. One of the most astonishing aspects of the 1974 Lincoln 1-cent penny is the potential it has to become a significant financial asset for collectors and investors. For example, some of the more sought-after 1974 pennies, especially those with double die errors or those in pristine condition, have been known to sell for as much as $80,000. That's right, $80,000. This eye-popping figure illustrates just how valuable this seemingly humble penny can be when it has the right combination of error, rarity, and preservation. Now, you might be wondering, how do you know if you've got a 1974 penny that's worth a small fortune? Well, the best way to start is by examining the coin closely. Look for any signs of the double die error. The date might appear doubled, and the image of Lincoln could show additional faint details or overlap. If you spot something unusual, it's worth getting the coin professionally appraised to determine its exact value. Keep in mind that condition is everything in the world of numismatics, so coins that are well preserved will always be worth more. So, next time you go through your spare change or dig through old coin jars, don't dismiss that 1974 Lincoln penny as just another piece of copper. It might just be the rare find you've been waiting for. Who knows? You could hold a coin that's worth $80,000 or more. Happy hunting! Top 4. The United States of America has a long and storied history when it comes to its currency. Coins, in particular, tell a fascinating tale of the nation's economy, its values, and even its iconic figures. One of the most enduring and recognizable coins is the Lincoln 1-cent penny. Introduced in 1909, the penny has undergone many changes over the years, but it remains a symbol of both everyday life and the rich history of American coinage. We're going to dive deep into a specific year that holds a special place for collectors, the 1976 Lincoln 1-cent penny. You might be surprised to learn that this coin, despite being produced in large quantities, holds incredible value for the right collector. The Lincoln penny, as most of us know, features a portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, and a depiction of the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side. The design has been a staple of U.S. currency for over a century. In 1976, the United States was celebrating its bicentennial, marking 200 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence. This momentous occasion led to the release of special coins, including the famous bicentennial quarter. However, while the bicentennial quarter is widely recognized, few people realize that the 1976 Lincoln penny also holds a secret that could make it extraordinarily valuable. The 1976 penny itself might seem unremarkable at first glance. After all, it's just another year in the long history of pennies being minted in large numbers. The standard 1976 Lincoln penny features the traditional Lincoln Memorial on the reverse and the familiar portrait of Lincoln on the front. But what makes the 1976 penny worth investigating is that during this year, the U.S. Mint was operating under the same complex system that sometimes led to errors and variations in coin production. And it is these small errors and unique characteristics that can turn an ordinary penny into something truly remarkable. One of the key factors that determine the value of a 1976 penny is the presence of minting errors. While many of the 1976 pennies are quite ordinary, certain errors that occurred during the minting process have made specific coins very rare. One of the most well-known errors is the double die error, where the image on the coin appears double due to a mistake in the die used to strike the coin. In the case of the 1976 penny, some coins were struck with a double die error, where the date and other elements of the design show signs of doubling. These coins are highly sought after by collectors because they are rare and unusual, adding significant value to the coin. Another error that has been found in 1976 pennies involves what's known as a misstrike. Misstrikes happen when a coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, leading to off-center designs or incomplete strikes. A misstruck penny can be a very valuable find, especially if the error is particularly noticeable. These types of minting mistakes are uncommon, so any 1976 pennies with misstrikes are likely to be worth far more than their face value. Of course, not all 1976 pennies are worth large sums of money. The general circulation pennies from this year, in average condition, are not rare enough to command a premium. However, there are some key details to look for that could indicate a penny is worth far more than its 1-cent face value. Beyond the errors, the condition of the coin also plays a huge role in determining its value. As with any collectible item, a coin in excellent condition will fetch a much higher price than one that is worn, scratched, or corroded. Coins that have been kept in pristine condition, especially those that are in uncirculated or near-mint state, are far more valuable to collectors. Now, let's talk about the value of the 1976 Lincoln penny in its rarest and most valuable forms. As mentioned earlier, the main reasons a 1976 penny could be worth significantly more than 1 cent are the minting errors and the overall condition of the coin. A penny that shows signs of a double die error or a significant misstrike could easily sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on its quality. But there's one particular 1976 penny that has garnered attention for its value. When a 1976 penny with a major error and in excellent condition surfaces, it can sell for astonishing amounts. So, just how much could a 1976 Lincoln penny be worth? If you have a rare example with a double die error, or a penny that's in pristine, uncirculated condition with one of these rare minting mistakes, you could be looking at a coin worth as much as $74,000. That's right, $74,000. While this is an extreme example, it shows just how valuable these coins can become in the right hands, especially when there are very few left in circulation with such errors. If you happen to come across a 1976 penny, take a close look at it. Examine the date for any signs of doubling, and check for misstrikes or any other unusual features. It's always worth getting a professional coin dealer or a numismatist to appraise it, especially if you suspect it might be one of these rare error coins. You never know, what you might think is just another coin could turn out to be a valuable treasure hiding in plain sight. In conclusion, the 1976 Lincoln 1-cent penny may seem like a standard issue coin at first glance, but it carries with it the potential for immense value. Whether due to minting errors like double die or misstrikes, or simply due to its pristine condition, certain 1976 pennies are worth far more than their face value. If you're lucky enough to find one of these rare specimens, you could be holding a coin worth $74,000. Happy hunting, and remember, sometimes the most ordinary things hold the greatest value.